Hello and welcome to the RuneScape Developer Q&A. My name is Mod Shawnee and I'm being joined by three wonderful people. I'm going to introduce them for you very quickly and then we'll get into the gist of things. So, to my right here is Mod Rowley, Senior Content Developer for the Guardians.
Hello.
Mod KOC, QA Analyst for the Ninjas. And Mod KLP, Project Manager and Lead Ninja. How are you guys doing?
Good, very good, thank you.
Awesome. All right, so let's just get straight into this. So, well, before we go into River of Blood, let's kick it off with a big question for some people who are PVMers. When will the next minion issue where they disappear be fixed?
So we know what it is now. They're not disappearing. They're just on the wrong side of the map in the void, which is crazy. That's in Modpie's job pool to get fixed. We've got bug fixing day tomorrow, so hopefully get fixed tomorrow and then out next week or the week after most, hopefully. So yeah, it's no issue. We're on the case.
That's always the main thing, obviously. All right, so River of Blood, Mod Rowley, how's it been received?
It's been well received, I think. On the whole, I mean, there's some tinge of disappointment with the kind of expectation of a war, but actually a peaceful resolution.
Mm-hmm.
It was always going to be a bit divisive in that regard because we didn't want to do something that's akin to other quest series, a little bit different maybe. Basically, nobody's happy at the end of the quest, rather than one side is victorious.
Yeah, gotcha. And we have been...
Did we put a spoiler warning into this?
We somewhat of a spoiler warning. Yeah, I mean, let's clear this up right now. We're in about 5 hours. We're going to be doing a playthrough of the quest with Mod Stu anyway, which is kind of a major spoiler. There may be some spoilers during this, but not major one. 4 hours even. Thank you, Mod JD, correcting me there. So we have had some issues come up, but we have been on them and fixing them very quickly. So we have an image now that we're going to show you, which is the hot fixes. Now, it does say planned fixes. However, those planned fixes are now fixed. So we've managed to do that. So I guess we can talk about two of the major ones, which is the early bird bonus and extending it from the end of April to the end to May the 8th. So what was the idea behind that?
Basically, it was why not? I mean, I think in the past we've given approximately 2 weeks for any sorts of early bird bonuses as a minimum. We put one out with the pre-release content and we thought end of April, that sounds about right, and we didn't change that for the quest. But as some people have pointed out, that's not even the entirety of this week, so there's no harm in relaxing it. So give people a bit more time. And
then the other one is Words Woe. So if you're able to skip a certain part of the boss fight, you wouldn't unlock the soundtrack for Words Woe. Now, obviously, for completionists, they need the full track list to get that, which is now fixed. So if you are playing and haven't unlocked it, but you've completed the quest, if you simply log out and log back in, it will essentially put the music track on your account and then you should be good to go. All right, so the hallucination effects, let's talk about that a little bit. There are two variants. We'll try not to go too into it, but one involves a bit of a whoosh and the other one's a bit of a color effect. So why were they there?
To sell the fact that you're hallucinating. I mean, there are certain other things we could have done, but I don't think they're all legal. So we went for some visual effects instead.
Gotcha. All right. I'm not going to inquire the legal bit. Oh, okay, gotcha.
In fairness, they were a lot worse in an earlier build.
I don't think that's it in our defence, though, is it?
I don't know. I thought they were fine. I thought the first batch was fine, but that's me.
Yeah, no, they were significantly worse in early testing. And apologies to a number of JMods here. We did induce
oh, yes, I did hear about that.
So we massively toned them down. They're like... We have the standard epilepsy warning on the game. That's just across the entire game. When there are strobe effects in a quest, we will mention, but obviously that's not this. This is some other slightly weird effects, so there's no danger there. Obviously, of course, if anyone's had any real problems with it, I'm sure they can let us know.
Yeah.
And as to the future, I think we stated on the forums, Mod Matt has said that if we ever use this effect again, we'll probably look into adding some sort of toggle, like a global toggle in RuneScape, potentially. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I just want to personally say, like, I've enjoyed seeing the pictures the players have been taking of their outfits with the color effects on them. I've seen some really awesome ones that have stood out.
Yeah, changing
my pink crafting cape.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, changing comp cape, the colors and the like. Well, not comp cape, but skill capes. Yeah.
So, interesting question here then is, are there any development secrets you can share with us on this quest?
I think this might be a good time to promote Stu's stream later.
Gotcha.
We discussed it as a team. There's a few things, but I don't want to steal his thunder, so we'll let him reveal.
I'll use this as a plug to go that at 9 p.m. 8 p.m. game time, you can watch myself and Modstu. We'll be playing through River of Blood. It's scheduled for an hour. It probably won't be an hour because we're going to just take our time and have fun, and we will probably be revealing some fun developer secrets along the way about how the quest was made and so on. So I do hope you come on by for that one. And well, I guess next up, what's next for the Guardians now?
What's next? It's what's current. I mean, we're already neck deep in the development of the Ark region in the Eastern Lands. We've had a bunch of brainstorm meetings this particular last week or two. In between the releases of the pre-release and the quest, we've been developing it. The environment guys have started work. We've already got a number of awesome pieces of concept art. Unfortunately, none to show yet because it's still a little bit too early, but we're full steam ahead now.
We have, Mod Joe did give a little bit of a sneak peek of the Eastern Lands in NXT. So if you go back and watch past broadcasts, you'll probably find it somewhere. He did a nice little show of that, so you can definitely check that out. And I guess the next one for us is holy water in River of Blood. Why the idea of the emphasis on it?
If I'd have known beforehand how convoluted it was to make, I wouldn't have included that. But it's too late. It's out there now, and maybe that's something.
Yeah, we've had it on our backlog to speed up the process for quite a while, but nobody's really using it, so it's not high up our list, but maybe it will be now, because people do need it.
Sorry about that. Alternatively, we could consider replacing the need for holy water and put something else in.
Well, it needs to be done, so we'll just bump it up our list, really. Be fine.
All right, now this is where I get to say names, and this could sound bad. So, can you confirm what happened to Sir Pyle Fjord at the end of River of Blood?
Your guess is as good as mine, with the pronunciation, I mean.
Wow, okay, got you.
Titan one, was it?
Yeah, it's Titan named NPC.
We're not even sure how to pronounce Titan.
He's multied out, so he disappears at the end of In Aid of the Mareki now. He served no real purpose after that point. He's never referenced again, never talked to again. He was guarding the door, but there's not really much to guard anymore, and he's not an actual member of the Mareki. So he's just been quietly gotten rid of, as a lot of NPCs in those lands tend to.
I reckon the Ghast's got him.
Sounds good.
So, got a question on Twitter from Chaos Lupus RS, who says, "How long do we have to wait for a werewolf quest series now that River of Blood has been released?"
That's not something we can answer. The groundwork is laid. It's not even a promise that we will do that. It's something I would like to see happen. It's something many developers have wanted to see happen for years. Perhaps in some sort of future survey or something, maybe a werewolf quest or some content for werewolves will find its way to being quite popular. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to be focusing on the more popular quest series, because it's going to be, players are going to have a say in what we do. So if werewolves are popular, then sure, more likely to happen. If not, probably be a little bit of a wait, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, for my money, we've done a fair bit of questing content now in Mauritania recently. I'd personally rather we relaxed that and finished off some other 5th Age series quests first and come back to Wolves a year or two down the line, something like that.
Awesome. All right, so this is quite a longish question, so I'll try and shorten it a little bit. But basically, for the River of Blood quest, what happens to true-born vampires when they attempt to cross the River Salve?
At what point? So this is after the quest?
It doesn't actually specify. They go on to say they basically just want to know the answer. So I guess depend on how you want to approach that question. I'll leave it to you.
I expect they mean after the quest.
Yeah, that's probably where there's confusion, and so there will be a spoiler here. They don't get hurt by it anymore. It kind of has the same effect as drinking the potion would do, in that it satiates their bloodlust temporarily. So you can kind of theorize that they become a little bit more towards human in terms of their approach to things. They're a bit more calm, more peaceful, more reasonable. and that's the kind of that's partly the reason why Vanascula crosses the threshold at the end, and then she's a little bit more pliant and acquiesces. So you could theorise that maybe she wouldn't have gone for peace if she didn't step forward, but I'm not going to answer that for certain.
Of course. All right, so we'll move on to a bit more of a general spaced out question. So, I mean, I suppose we can answer this one, but obviously we don't have anyone specifically from NXT here, but I guess what is next for the NXT team on their roadmap as such?
Well, the whole of the last Dev Q&A live stream was that question, essentially.
Pretty much.
So my answer is go back. It's on YouTube. Go back and watch our previous live streams. Last week we had a number of people from the NXT team who discussed all that stuff. So, I mean, in short, it's still just focusing on NXT. The plan is, what we want to do is move people off of Java and onto NXT, and to the point that we can just get rid of Java. So I believe that is generally the main focus of the NXT team moving forward. And
just to branch a little bit, we actually released some updates to the NXT client today, so you can check that out in the NXT forum on RuneScape.com. There's a couple of changes, such as adding a ping limiter, ping tracker back to your display FPS, for example, which is pretty useful to have. So that's just one of the changes, but we're always trying to improve that experience for you guys on that one. So what monster or location/area do you plan on graphically updating next?
Well, I think we've already discussed Port Sarim.
Yep, we've already shown images of it, I believe.
Yes, we have.
So the Guardians are going to do Port Sarim as part of the Arc.
Yeah, so the release we're putting together for July, it will come with that. There's potential that there'd be something else reworked before then.
Yeah, we've got something small maybe in May, but I'm not totally sure we'll have that. I don't want to say anything yet, because I'd be a little bit surprised.
There's something being worked on there.
But it's not too big, so don't expect a lot there. After that, I mean, I can only discuss like plans for the Ninja team. Obviously, with the release of NXT, I would like us to be able to do more areas. We do have Mod AOB in the team. He's going to be helping out with a few other projects, such as Eastern Lands, or the Arc rather, in the near future. But after that, yeah, I would like us to look at some Surface World stuff. My thoughts are that we kind of go west of White Wolf Mountain, and so maybe start with Cafferby, and then maybe kind of like work our way up to Sears Village and stuff. But that's a little bit off, and we haven't fully decided that yet.
Awesome. All right, so I guess a question for you, Mr. Rowley, but I guess we can probably answer this in general, but any chance that this is kind of a spoiler, so just a heads up here, any chance that the new spear brackets from River of Blood can be made to work on Corp, which I guess means Corporal Beast, even in ranged and magic forms?
I mean, my gut reaction is no, because, I mean, the two-handed ranged weapon thrown is a javelin, and javelins do nothing specific against Corp, and magic, that's a bit of a strange one. As a spear, as melee, it does the job. But I don't know if you guys have got any comment on that, or if you want to avoid that question entirely.
We can put it in our hit list and discuss it, I suppose, but I'm leaning more towards your stance on that, because it's not a spear when it's not a spear.
Yeah, it's worth putting towards the Combat Council as well, just to see if they've got any thoughts on that, but I wouldn't expect it.
All right, so now
we've got a little shout-out request.
Shout-out request? Oh, wow, okay, so someone called Zezima, you might have heard of him, he just got 200 million invention, so congratulations. Bit out of the blue, but nice one. All right, so now that old school RuneScape is getting a new tier of clue scrolls, have you guys thought about adding something similar?
I'm not sure about a new tier. What I want to do is actually maybe work with our kind of like analytics team to look into a little bit more in depth about what our kind of clue hunters are actually doing. I want to know if, how many players, like I'm aware that there's some players who essentially all they do is clue hunt. I want to know if there's a lot of people like that, or those who do a little bit, like what else do they generally do? So I want to do a lot more investigation into clue hunters before making decisions what we do. But even then, that's likely to be a fair bit off, to be honest.
Of course.
I mean, like, I haven't asked our analytics team yet because they're very busy, particularly with like NXT and stuff at the moment. And then I'm not, I want us ninjas to be busy with like some certain projects in the future that doesn't include that, so we'll have to see.
There's some quick and easy things we can do as a result of recent changes. So if you played Easter, you'll have seen that we can quickly put in new puzzle box pictures, and we can animate them now as well. So if you want it to be particularly devious.
Yeah, I think the feedback from Easter is maybe don't animate them.
Mod Doctor would approve, but I don't know about
Mod
the
Doctor
majority
would
of
approve, but I personally approve, but I don't think the majority of people would.
All right. We got
No,
no.
It's not going to happen. We're not going to animate them.
How many push jobs do you do?
I'll get all that data from the stuff. Yeah, but cheers.
All right. So, will we ever be able to complete the Myraki Memorial north of Canifis?
If you go and kill Ivan and Veliath, then yes.
Boom. There you go.
I know that some people have kind of, I wouldn't call it OCD, but that kind of, they were compelled to finish things
Yeah,
off.
because there's like a gap, right here, pretty much.
And I wouldn't necessarily say every single person in that memorial is definitely dead. So maybe they'll say,
Whoa.
whoa.
I mean, there might be, but
Yeah.
we can't confirm either way.
Well, we know certainly one of them may or may not be.
I can think of two, but yeah.
So we could potentially finish it off. I believe we need to do a little bit of environment work. So it probably wouldn't be anytime soon because we're busy on the Ark.
Of course.
But yeah, we'll see.
All right. So, is there an ETA on the new special attacks for the Noxious Scythe and Lombo that Mod Pi was talking about? Which I imagine would be easier to answer if Mod Pi was here as such. But do we have any idea?
Do we have a specific ETA on that, do we? When
No.
it gets done.
Just on backlog,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
It's in his job pool.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll give them a little bit more attention. I mean, we've been working fully on Meg-a-May for the last couple of weeks, so we've kind of only been releasing ninja fixes and stuff that we've done previously. But we're all back on the ninja fixes now, really. And so you will start to get a lot more kind of like higher profile stuff out again.
Super. Can you reveal who is Azertes that one of the Myraki killed?
I'd rather not. I think players have formed very valid and solid theories as to who that was, but I don't think it's something we need to be explicit about. I'm not someone who believes we should tie up every little bow as a quest. I mean, some things should be left to speculation, and I imagine if Arate could tell you, but she's not like somebody who would if you ever met her. So.
All right. Can you add the option for auras to turn grey on cooldown as suggested in the past? I should point out that this obviously was posted on Reddit, and I think others have seen this as well. So yeah, good question.
Yeah, maybe. We've kind of, Timbo wants to do something else with auras, like a place to maybe like an aura type bag type thing, to remove them from like cluttering up your bank sort of thing. So when we get around to that, we'll maybe look at that. It might be the case that we don't actually need that anymore once we do that. So we'll see, really. Because if it's a case that you're just pulling them off an interface, then you will show which ones are, will clearly show which ones are active or can be activated at that point, sort of thing. So we'll see what happens there.
Awesome. All right. Will the Corporal Beast ever get a makeover, a hard mode, a new soundtrack, an environment, or some new drops?
Corporal Beast.
Maybe. Not anytime soon. It is very old looking. It is from a very old quest. Drops are probably easiest to sort out, I suppose.
Yeah, we can always take a bit of Timbo's time to kind of look at some drop tables and stuff.
Graphics very low priority because we don't have a character artist on Ninja. I don't think any other teams are working on any project that's sort of related.
Yeah, I think graphically updated and stuff like that is unlikely.
I know there's people in the office who want to make a hard mode, but nobody's got any time either.
Yeah, it might become out of someone's like tech project or something like that.
So.
So yeah, no priority behind it, but it could happen.
Sure. Question from Metal Foxy in Twitch chat. In River of Blood, the army seemed to only be a visual thing and you never had any interaction with it. Will NXT allow for more NPCs and NPC interaction in an instance for future quests?
I don't think it's necessarily NXT that holds that back. I mean, we did still have to make that particular thing work in Java and on our current minimum spec. So we were kind of held back a little bit still by that. If theoretically we have that date where we switch over entirely to NXT, then it opens up the amount of things we can do, but whether or not things are interactive within instances, that doesn't really have a factor, whether we're in Java or NXT.
All right. And with the release of the Vampire finale, has there been a decision on what 5th Age, I mean, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but on what 5th Age series to work on next, and if so, which one?
No, I think, as we said, like, players will be involved in what projects we kind of do going forwards. I mean, they already were heavily involved in what we did, what we've kind of been choosing to do so far for 2016. So I think it's very likely that we will continue with a 5th Age storyline. Like definitely not next year, but which one, I imagine we'll let players decide. I think my choice would probably be penguins. I think quite a few people in the office would be up for more penguins.
I'm keen to get desert or gnome.
Pirate.
No.
Pirates.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of choice. We'll see what the players. I mean, I'm biased. I'd say desert probably, but that's because then our team gets to work on it.
Yeah. There you go.
Any chance the QPD will ever see some quality of life updates, such as cutting out the 15 to 20 second wait before the fight begins?
If we cut that out, we'd have to rebalance drops and stuff, because obviously it's based on how many you can do.
Hour, yeah.
Never say never. I don't really feel like it's a priority and stuff like that. QBD is good, so plenty of people do it for money making and stuff. I'm not sure it's not up on my list of things that really needs attention, to be honest, because it's a decent piece of content. Other areas are much more lacking, I feel.
Will the fence east of Varrock be changed to allow free-to-play to access Silveria and the 5 quests there? And since NXT is here, why not let free-to-play see what Mauritania is like from Patadomus?
Not sure. Like, I think it's unlikely we're going to be adding those quests. I think we said yes to one piercing note and stuff. We're making quests free-to-play. Be honest, we're going to pick like quests that are actually going to be really good quests. I think some of those, like a Soulsbane, that's the one where you go down in the chasm, right?
Yes.
Looking quite aged
Don't
now.
really want to push brand new players to that. So I think most of that stuff is unlikely. But you getting people to see Patadomus and stuff is kind of cool, maybe. I don't know, we've kind of done quite a bit with free-to-play and stuff recently and stuff. I'm quite happy with the additions we made and stuff like that, and it's not going to be a case that we just constantly make more and more additions, to be honest with you.
All right. Any news on closing mobilizing armies?
No.
There you go. All right. So I'm going to get ready to, I'm going to get ready for you to go over to the gaming PC. So I'm going to send Kelpie over, and while he heads over, we're going to answer one more question, then we'll hand it over to him. So, could certain tree sizes be increased to give a more foresty feeling when walking through certain areas? For example, the Haunted Woods and Gnome Stronghold. And just before we answer that, obviously, I think this could be a question from someone who plays NXT, where obviously from a depth of field perception, things look a little bit different compared to the trees and stuff.
Sure, I think that's definitely on their radar. Whether that's higher up their priority list or I don't know. They're certainly aware of that though.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. We ever do tree updates in the future as well? That'll certainly be taken into consideration. Karamja's got some really old trees on that.
Yeah.
Again, it's when we get around to graphically updating all that stuff, which might be a ways off yet.
Are we, just want to double check with our production team, is Kelpie good to go?
Let's go.
Super. All right, so we're going to throw over to Kelpie, who's going to show you off a piece of content coming up for May. Enjoy it, guys, and we'll be back in just a little bit.
Hello, how's it going? Here I'm just arriving in Port Sarim. You may notice this thing here. Ninjas have been working on Meg-a May for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to be talking you through that. Last few years we've been doing road trip through May, and this is kind of like the road trip type content. However, Ninjas decided to do a new spin on it. As you remember from Christmas, if you played the Christmas content, we had an interface that kind of linked everything together, and we had that on the ribbon. Unfortunately, since then, RuneMetrics has come out and we haven't had space. So what we've done is we put an interface up here that works just like the treasure hunter box. And so you can always just close it if you want to, or you can, I've got my screen locked, you can move it around if you like. As you may notice, it is Meg's giant face. Click on that to open up the interface, or if you close it down, you can always go to the adventures part, and the latest content listed for the whole of May will be Meg's investigation services. So you can access it that way as well. I shall start off with the May weekends. So this is just like the winter weekends or the May weekends we've run in the past. As with Christmas, we've got them all on the interface now, so you can see what's happening. So every weekend we have some bonus stuff going on, and throughout May we also have some additional ports bonuses. So on the interface you can click through each of these and you can find out more information on each weekend. So throughout May we'll have the port stuff, so that's 25 voyages a day instead of 15. All ports voyages return 30% extra trade goods or resources, and the ability to get Cerula's special voyage on Saturdays and Sundays as well as Thursdays. So a good time to do ports if you haven't engaged with that content much. Then the other weekends are port skills. So these are all kind of skills that will help you get level 90 in skills to unlock ports characters. I'll go through each one so you can always take screenshots and shove them on Reddit and stuff. The next weekend is dungeoneering and raids, so you get into dungeoneering and get extra stuff through that. 20th and 23rd is bossing and Slayer, always a very popular one. You increase Slayer experience, etc. And then the final one is mini games, and during that weekend it will be a pest control weekend on the Spotlight. So pest control, always one of the more popular mini games, probably the only one that Ninja won't remove in time. Everyone will be jumping in that, getting extra Thaler and Castle Wars tickets and such. Not Castle Wars tickets, pest control stuff. So that is the May weekends. Meg's cases, however, so what this is each day throughout May, or rather starting on the 3rd of May, sorry, my chair is getting stuck, we have a case that unlocks, and these are like small little investigation cases where you go speak to an NPC, they describe their predicament, and you solve the case for them. They're quite short, so they don't last too much longer than, they last at most probably about 10 minutes. And for completing each one, you get a small lamp, and as you can see at the bottom here, after completing every 5, you gain some extra rewards, which I'll go through in a second. So you can see we kind of split the cases up a little bit here. We've got some misc ones, some stuff to do with pets. Most of these are kind of like, you do it once, it's just a kind of like self-contained story. It's like Monster of the Week type stuff. But there is a couple ones that have storylines. So you see here the kind of like board with the scratches in it. This is a little series called Robber from the Darkness. And there's another one here with kind of like a gold coin on parchment, the Eastern Mystery. So they have multiple parts, so they're unlocked through the months, and you'll be able to further the storylines there. So that's all pretty cool. They're kind of like, I don't want to play through any of them because it'd be spoilers. But these were written by the Ninja team, and it's kind of quite old school kind of mentality for it. So there's lots of links to old NPCs that you may have not spoken to for quite a while. So if you've been a RuneScape player for quite a while, there's lots of references that you'll see. Otherwise, even if not, there's plenty of humor and stuff that you understand and get. So they're all pretty cool. I'm aware of people on the sofa laughing. What is it? Am I missing stuff? Shout at me if I'm going too fast or something.
The chat wants the X button tooltip to be shut up, Meg.
You want that to be shut up, Meg? We can maybe work with that. Yeah. As for rewards, so the first lot of rewards is after completing 5 cases, you will get some port stuff. After 10, you'll get a sock puppet, which I can demonstrate here. So I've got a little sock puppet here. So when you walk around it's just a thing in your hand, but you can speak to it as well. So here we go, little sock puppet talking to me. The other thing with a sock puppet is when you're wearing it, if you're speaking to NPCs, there's a random chance that the sock puppet kind of chat head will speak instead of your player chat head. So it leads to some pretty amusing conversations. Be pretty funny to see like screenshots of people taking it into like kind of more serious quest lines, and you having the sock puppet talking to Zaros or someone. So that's pretty amusing, pretty funny. You'll kind of, as you do cases, you'll maybe understand why we have kind of sock puppets and such. What else do we have? After that, we've got a private investigator outfit, which is on the customization interface. That's the wrong interface. And so I'll just activate that there so you can see that. So as you can see there, it's kind of old, kind of like a slightly more medieval, but very much a kind of like 1920s American private investigator type outfit, which looks pretty cool. I'm kind of hoping that there'll be a few people from the community doing some like film noir type films with characters wearing this outfit, kind of investigating mysteries in Gillinor. Pretty cool. Quite a lot of JMods are pretty happy with the look of that. It looks pretty cool. Yep, Inspector Gadget, milady. Yep. So there we go. Looks pretty nice. What else have we got? We got a pet. So a little Turov pet there. I was debating whether I should show you, but I'm going to show you it anyway. We haven't graphically updated Turovs, but this Turov is a little bit special. I keep on opening the wrong interfaces. So he's called Sokrov. So you may see there's a little bit of a sock theme going in here. So here we go. We have a nice little Turov with socks on. As you can see there, so you know, a little bit old looking other than the socks bit, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. So yeah, there's that. People enjoying it, maybe. Let's see. What else? After that, then the final rewards are lamps and stars. So large and then a huge XP lamp and a star to the end. So, you know, true kind of like ninja wacky fashion that we got going on. I don't think there's too much to say on those. If you've got questions, ask in the chat. JD will pick them out. We'll answer them in a moment on the sofas. These cases are 1 unlocks each day, but you do not have to play them each day. You can like save them up and play a few in a row sort of thing. This will stay in game to the 13th of June, so there's a while afterwards. So there's plenty of time to get them all done. So they're in game for a while. I think another bit I haven't shown yet is that Meg actually has an office in Player Imports. So this is Meg's little open office. You can be polite and you can go through the door if you like. But if you're a bit rude, you can just walk around the outsides. It's always nice to use the door though. So you will speak to Meg for some of the cases, but it's very much the case that they're pretty simple to do. You click on the case, you start the case, you can teleport to the closest lodestone. Can't do it in Can't show that in thingy. Can I expand this a little bit? So it's the case whilst you're not in ports or any other minigame. The minigame tab shows your progress and explains what you kind of need to do. So for this one, it's Clive's runaway rabbit, and you need to talk to Clive in the Rock Palace. As I said, you can kind of click on it and it will teleport you there automatically. So this will update as you progress through the little cases and keep information for you, so it's well worth having that open. If I missed anything? No? I mean, it's kind of everything covered. There is a breadcrumb trail that helps you find the NPCs as well, the starting NPC. So you can see I've got a little thing on there. I don't know if breadcrumb trail appears once I get a little bit closer. There we go. So that will direct you to them. Yeah, I think that is it. I think I've covered everything. So I really hope you look forward to that sort of stuff. Once you kind of play through a few, you kind of recognize some of the ninja humor. Coming up next, a little bit more ninja humor, or humor from a few ninjas, maybe not all of us. So back to studio.
Oh, that's pretty good, wasn't it? Oh, that guy Socky McGee, he's pretty cool, isn't he?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Who says we don't know how to have fun, right? Socky McGee in his form. I wasn't expecting the pet. That got me. The pet was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. I just want to, because Mr. Rowley sitting next to me here, as the pet was shown, I heard him mutter very quietly, "What have you guys done?" It was brilliant.
It'll make a bit more sense when you play the content.
Yeah. Yes.
A little bit more sense.
So we do have some questions from the chat that were gathered while Kelpie was showing the content. So first question straight off the bat is, how do I do ports? So obviously someone who hasn't got to that area yet.
How do you do ports? So ports is in that big portal that I just showed in Port Sarim. You need level 90 in a particular set of skills, just one.
The 12 options.
You just need, so each level 90 in these particular set of skills unlocks a character in ports. You need to unlock one character to be able to get to start ports. So probably one of the easiest skills is like cooking, for example. Just do rations at a citadel for a couple of weeks, and there you go. Yeah, and then you play through a tutorial and you start sending off ships and stuff, and all that explains it all for you. You can go in there, something I forgot to actually cover there, you can go into the ports beforehand if you're a member, and you can speak to Meg or Singer Umi.
Singer Jemmy.
Singer Jemmy is going to be replacing Meg whilst we've got Meg-a May going on.
And Meg's friend.
She'll send you off. No, sorry. You kind of help her with adventures, and she'll disappear for a week, and she'll come back. And depending on how good advice you'll give her, she'll give you XP lamps, which contribute to gaining XP in those skills, sort of thing.
Coins and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean that's it. Part of this is you can now, if you're free to play, this is available to free to play. So you can actually go into ports now with a free-to-play account, but you can't do any of the other bits for it. You can just have a look around, go to Meg's office sort of thing. Yeah, you will need to go there for some of the cases.
The entire Meg-a May event is free-to-play, so you can get all the rewards and do all of the cases. So.
Yeah.
Super. All right. So so you showed off the Mega weekends just then. So will IMM benefit from any of those weekends?
Yep. They can benefit from all of them pretty much.
Yeah, I chased this up. They can do all of the content, and they can get all the rewards as well.
Thank you, Socky McGee, for the clarification there. Will we get to tell Meg to shut up during Mega May?
Maybe. Maybe there's not enough telling Meg to shut up. Maybe we'll need to add in some more later on.
So you kind of clarified this during the session, but how many Meg cases can you do per day?
You can do as many cases as you like. It's just one unlocks every day, and it could be the case that you come in after a week and do like 7 in a row sort of thing.
For sure.
So you can do you could do them all in one day if you wanted to, but that's be a little bit time consuming once they all add up. So
the story ones have 2 locks on them. So one is the date. So once that date's passed, you can get to it. You have to do the previous cases in that story as well.
Yeah.
So it has some
Be able to play
prerequisites.
it,
pretty much.
yeah, for the story ones.
Awesome.
About half of them are like storyline ones, and half
so
half are kind of like one-off monster of the week style ones.
2 storylines. I think one of them's 10 parts, one of them's 7, and then all the rest of the cases are unique ones.
Yeah.
And last one here I have is, will Meg appear in our ports more often in May? Which I guess we kind of really clarified, saying that Meg will be swapped out for Sea Singer along the way.
Yeah. So yeah, the Sea Singer will be there. The lamp stuff is still once per week. That bit hasn't changed. But if you actually got ports unlocked, there's, as I mentioned, there was a few other benefits there. That will be all month long.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to return to our more general-based questions. So we have an image we're going to get ready to queue up on your screen right now, which is basically, the question is, would there be a possibility of evolution of Legacy, i.e. the Legacy interface, but reskinned in a RuneScape freestyle?
We've got this question a few times. The answer is no. The reason being is that by allowing them to have the kind of like EOC interface in Legacy worlds, it would make PvP battles unfair.
So do you mind clarifying upon the unfair bit? Just so
basically you can have all of your windows open at the same time instead of just one at a time.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Which gives you a benefit in combat. So there is some PvP communities and stuff. So there's a reason why we've done it, is to keep that stuff fair and balanced, sort of thing.
All right. So I guess this is more of an NXT-based question. Are there any plans on fixing underground places, as you can still see some dungeons, i.e. dungeoneering floors, at the Dockeresh Khan train station?
Yes, and it'll be in time, sort of thing. Over time, more and more of these things will get fixed as they're raised and stuff.
Yeah, because obviously the guys are working on, for example, where you can see Crandor from Charisma, etc., and trying to obviously add a bit more realism, I guess.
Yeah, making the world seem a little bit bigger because so I think like they discussed like maybe like in Trana, that sort of thing. They want to currently you can see that, I believe, from like Tavale and stuff.
Yeah,
they want to make it. Yeah, it's kind of like it looks quite busy and stuff like that, and especially when you've got like ships around. And it looks like the ships don't have room to maneuver and stuff. So.
Why are you guys saying Mod Shawnee is evolving? I'm confused.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm so scared. I'm scared. Anyway, when is a mining update for Invention coming? Wow.
There's your.
That is just.
You've been replaced.
But when is a mining update for Invention coming?
So we've got a smithing and mining rework coming later in the year. So at the same time as we do that, we'll do all the Invention stuff. It doesn't make sense to do it beforehand when we're then going to rewrite all the code and make things more difficult for us. So they'll come at the same time.
Is that actually confirmed, or just the earliest point from which we could do it?
I'm going to say confirmed, and then I'm not doing it.
So you can talk to me.
This is the Duke's team. I think mining, smithing.
Yeah, it's the
later
Dukes.
in the year for them.
Yep.
Yeah. Mining, smithing definitely confirmed. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it enough, with them at least being in the same room, that they'll do it at the same time. We'll look to do it.
All right. Any plans to give player-owned houses some love?
Determine some love?
More stuff you can build.
I mean, a lot of the time we've talked about construction. Would rather, if we're going to do more construction updates, we'll rather do more surface world construction updates. Right now, we don't have any of those surface world construction updates planned. So it's kind of like, it could be. I can't really say. We just don't have anything planned. There's not a priority there. Obviously, anything we do there is big projects, and we don't have those things planned at this time.
All right. Okay. This is interesting.
But as I said, players help decide the future updates and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So that's what you want. When we give you the opportunity to, then put that down. Have your say.
Okay. This is an interesting question. Can you consider removing Duel Arena on the same premise of the rat pits, i.e. it's mostly, in this player's opinion, mostly used by scammers?
No, because Duel Arena actually has a purpose, and people do legit have jewels there
Yeah, I don't think
for the
it's
fun and stuff like that. Rat Pits was just old content. Yes, it was broken, so that's why no one played it. But at the same time, like even if it was fixed and stuff like that, I don't think many people would have played it. Sort of
So
thing.
the return of interest in taking the time to fix it probably wouldn't have been
there.
worth it.
There are a lot of legitimate players using Duel Arena.
Yeah.
Whereas Rat Pits, there was nobody there. Oh, it was terrible. It really was though. I'm glad it's gone.
With the conclusion of another...
Calm down, Shawnee.
Thank you, Saki, for your wonderful contributions.
He's awful, isn't
he? He's very attentive, that's for sure. With the conclusion of another fifth, so we kind of got into this earlier, so I'm going to just skip that one. When will dyed items be augmentable? Now, as far as I'm aware, we've clarified this many times and said the dyed items will never be augmentable, as far as I'm aware. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the stance on it.
I think our stance has changed on that.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. No?
I don't know. I don't know like the current state of it. I know we've talked about it a lot. We've discussed it with the Combat Council a lot. If you're confident that's our current stance, then sure.
Do you want to talk about
Degrades.
defenders?
I talked today about, I think this might be another question later on, but I did talk about like tier 90 degradable armors and stuff. And now we're through Meg-a-May, like I'm happy for Ninja to pick that up. So those, we'll look to try and get those done. But I don't, I'm sorry, I'm not fully up to scratch with the discussion, so I think the dyed stuff is still a different subject matter.
Gotcha.
And so probably unlikely.
We are looking to do augmented defenders soon though.
Yeah, we need to do those, as well as the other changes to defenders, so they drop for more people.
I think we want to do something with shield bows as well, because they effectively are a one-hand weapon and a one-hand shield. So I think we want to put one weapon, one armor gizmo, something like that anyway. Still got discussions to do with that.
Yeah.
All right, so can the Hurt Burner be added to the Falla shop? Currently, skillers don't have a way to get one, and they had a way to do so during the Halloween event.
Unlikely. I mean, it's not a minigame reward, so it's not. I mean, I kind of feel like if you're going to limit yourself into what content you play, so only doing skills, then you can't expect to get all rewards, to be honest.
Okay.
So it's currently on, what are they on? Skeletons or something?
I don't know where it is currently.
But yeah, it's from a drop. So yeah, that's kind of my feelings on it, is that if you're going to limit yourself, then you can't expect to get all rewards, to be honest. Makes things quite a pain to develop for if we always have to keep in mind certain people aren't going to limit themselves and like, well, I can't, if I make everything available to a certain like group of players who do that sort of thing, then there's less stuff for everyone else who doesn't do that stuff, so.
Awesome. All right. Any progress on adding a search bar to the emotes interface? So instead of obviously trying to mouse over each one, is there a way to add a search bar to maybe box to find one?
We could maybe do one.
But obviously from a priority perspective, probably obviously not massive on the...
I mean, like, we've got like, we obviously made the emotes kind of like toggleable whether you see them or not recently, and there's a whole, but that was part of like chat updates that we're doing, and we still got more chat updates to come and stuff. I can run it past Mod Hunter and see what he thinks of it, because I'm not sure how easy that is to do.
I can probably say that the people who film videos in RuneScape would probably love that update. Obviously trying to find a very specific emote and trying to identify it from there. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's definitely like groups of people who want that sort of stuff.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, it's like you can still spend a bit more time to just find that emote sort of thing, So
absolutely.
I think you're going to be using it often. You're going to know where they are.
Yeah,
anyway,
you'll kind of know like embedded where it is.
Yeah, and also if you're going to use it often, like there's plenty of action bars now, so there's no reason why you can't stick your favorite 10 or whatever on an action bar.
Okay, question from Miss Lioness RS on Twitter. Can the duration of the God Wars 2 Skybox effect, i.e. the Nightstone and Daystone, be toggleable instead of 2 minutes?
I think you'll probably have to speak to ModDeg about that. Probably a safety check. Some dodgy stuff in ModDeg code sometimes. So,
Wow.
Not to disparage his character at all there.
Just his work.
Okay, I'll take it back.
That's
It's some interesting ways of doing things.
okay, gotcha.
It's maybe a safety check because of it.
This is actually something that came up for River of Blood because of the lighting effect during the hallucinations, and we disabled the day and night stones for this reason, and we've started like asking questions about some sort of system for.
Yeah, what was the original question?
we
Sorry,
do.
I didn't.
So basically, to sum it up, why is the duration of the Nightstone and Daystone 2 minutes instead of just a toggle on and off option?
Oh, it's because it's silly dig
was
quest
just a
items,
silly
isn't it?
item,
It's just he puts those things in. I mean, they're amusing, they're fun. It's a cool little like object quest little thing series. But you know, that's not a kind of like an official kind of like project type thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we've talked about this stuff in the past where it's like we're never going to do an official day and night system because, or if we did, it'd be a whole lot of work because we would want to do a proper system where NPCs go at home at night and stuff like that. You've also then got the issues where places like Mauritania and Draenor, lore-wise, are night and other areas are in daytime. So what do you do there? But we're fine with like when we had the POH stuff and there was the bug where you can turn it to night if you want to, and people taking their own screenshots, and if they choose to walk around at night time, then that's up to them sort of thing.
Do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is because we've just got NXT, we're trying to all these new things graphically. We just need to make some sort of global system, I think,
Gotcha.
that's behind the scenes more than a player-facing thing, just so the lighting changes we make in any given space are for that space, and we're not overriding things.
Yeah, there's some absolutely crazy things we can do with it. just from what I've seen, we probably would never do, but yeah, lots of different options.
Yeah, I think Mod Joe showed a few off in a recent stream with.
He was playing with.
Yes, he was playing with the
vampire.
Yes, he was.
Atmospheric
stream.
effects and such.
Yep.
So that's worth checking out.
It's on our YouTube channel actually in a video.
In the Ghoul Mausoleum, I think that was.
Yep.
The thing I mentioned, that ports bug, is actually fixed in NXT, so maybe we'll look to actually do something properly, like something maybe on the orb of Oculus.
Yeah,
Oculus?
Yep,
whatever it's
orb of
called.
Oculus, yep.
So you can set that stuff if you want, but it wouldn't be like an official lore.
Just an op where you could just maybe toggle it and maybe go from there. Okay, can we see more new awards from Death? So I guess Death Store, where you obviously can get rainbow loot beams, etc.
We probably want to do it with a bigger boss layer update again, but it's not on our
We
radar.
don't know plans as of yet. I mean, as he says, like the teams who do larger combat updates and stuff, if they do something that plugs into that, then maybe, but not from ninjas at least.
Gotcha. Okay, so basically the gist of this is that it's a pretty long question, so I'll try and cut it down a little bit. So since the wing cosmetics have evolved from the cape slot to their own slot in the appearance store, is it possible that we can have wins from the aura's harmony, salvation, and corruption being made more permanent, please?
I'm sure we said yes to this in the before, and it's on our backlog somewhere.
Awesome.
I think so.
Yeah, we should double check that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not a priority. So I know a lot of people get upset when I say it's on the Ninja backlog and it has no priority. But
Ninja backlog is
tough
massive,
really,
so.
because like it's not. That's just not a. I just don't see that as a high priority issue whatsoever. It's a nice little thing that maybe we'll get around.
And it's
to.
not easy just to go backlog and then go, because you have to decide from an impact perspective as well, and like from a time perspective, what you have to get done and stuff.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
those are all other
we do
things.
focus like on a lot of like stuff that we think a bit more harder hitting.
Of course.
But there is always, we try and take some of the smaller stuff as well, just to keep things nice.
And then another question here from, which is, will we ever be able to have a quick chat for how many times a player resets their player-owned house aquarium?
I'm not sure why they can't.
I don't see why not. Sure.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Basically, if we can add a quick chat option for how many times you've reset your aquarium.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any rewards past 2. You can keep doing it if you want. Sure. Yeah, go on then.
And a little bit of a fun little question before we go over to Ninja Quickfire. Have you given your voice to any characters in RuneScape? I haven't, first of all.
I almost did, but then the plushie toys.
Oh, the plushie toys.
Stu just outdid us all, so no, that didn't make it in.
Oh.
I was a dying Kale for sure in my key 6, which was Lord of Vampirium.
So you're only
getting my face bitten off by a Venator, yeah.
So your only voice acting performance is of you dying. That's something to put on your resume as such.
Oh no, I was going to say, didn't you do that epic poem, but then overdid
it? No, yeah, Mob Mark did that one. I just wrote it.
Yeah, I haven't, no.
Oh. Back now. All right, we're back.
Back. Excellent. The bound items probably no. Everything else, maybe. We'll have to look at them individually.
There we go. All right. Can you finally let us store Superior Void Knight gloves in player-owned house?
Is in QA.
There we go. Can the Ethereal outfit recognize a Wicked Hood that is stored in a player-owned house?
Yeah,
I think so.
Can you add a quick check steps option for clue scrolls like it? Oh well, we've answered that earlier.
Go away.
Okay, we're back again.
That's really rude. I'm going to get HR for
And we just saw a harassment against Socky McGee. Okay, we'll try and keep things back on track here. What other clutter do you plan on getting rid of?
You.
Okay.
Wow.
Can we have more songs in our playlist? The current limit is 30.
No, we raised it last year, and the reason why it's 30 is because that was the most we could go to without like a full-scale rewrite or something.
Yeah, it takes up a lot of space on the player save, so it's not something we can do currently.
The chat loved that reaction to that other question, Mr. Kelpie.
I apologise.
Could people with a completionist cape or a trim completionist cape have the option to change the particle color to a current 120 cape already owned?
No. I'm not going to change capes. My history with capes, I'm not changing anything.
Can the charm and imp interface be changed so we don't have to go through dialogue each time we toggle a charm type?
Yeah, I think we can look at that.
Super. Can the NXT beta testers please get the beta scientist outfit?
Nope.
And can we increase the amount of create and divine locations to 2 or be able to use Viswax to make it possible?
Nope.
No, that's too strong.
And then we're going to do one more question here, which is, can the new Sun Spear be made keepsakeable? Which I guess is a question for you, Mr. Riley.
The sock can answer.
Probably. We can probably do a keepsake copy. Or maybe just keepsake it entirely. Yeah, probably. Cool.
As long as the sock does the work.
Hey, I'm just a sock. I'm no dev. I actually work here.
But you can still get harassed. as we've just
Yeah,
said.
that's really brutal, really mean. I'm
Yeah,
going to get on HR for that.
And it's not it's safe to say that we really do add a unique type to our streams, that's for sure. We've had a sock.
You might say that. This lame-o here controlling me. I don't know.
Oh my. Okay, so that is the end of Ninja Quickfire as such. So
Finally.
and the Gobi is back, so if I'm going to do it, let me just, there we go. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. There we go. All right, so later on tonight at 8 p.m. game time, we're going to be myself and Mod Stu are going to be playing through River of Blood, and we're going to be taking our time going through the development of it, taking you through the quest. There will be spoilers, obviously, but if you want to get a special insight into the quest, then it's well worth watch. And we're also going to be hosting a Twitch streamer called Hippie RS after the stream, who will be taking on Araxo. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the mischievous fun and all the chaos between in the developer Q&A. It's been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful night, and thank you again for watching.
Bye-bye.